Hello, this is E-Soup, aka Specific Soup. Today I'm reacting to episode 8 of the Summer Hikaru Died. I'm so nervous for this one, and I think that's just how I'm gonna feel before every episode for the rest of this season. But I have sort of accidentally seen people's initial reactions to this episode. I don't mean I've seen like a whole reaction, but I follow some people who react on YouTube, and I was just seeing the thumbnails and people's, exclamations about this episode. So I'm a little bit concerned. It sounds like things are really going down, and I was worried last episode about Hikaru taking out part of himself and therefore making himself less powerful and the repercussions that was going to have. And I'm sort of worried that we're going to start seeing that in this episode. Like, we've barely had any breathing time since that happened, and I think we're already going to be getting those repercussions. But that's just kind of my prediction based on what people seem to be feeling about this episode. As always, I'm so bad at reacting things that come out on a weekly basis and waiting for the next one. I feel like watching this episode and like waiting for next week's is going to be brutal, but I'm not going to put it off. I'm just going to do it. So, for better or for worse, here I am. Uh-huh. Yeah, they do need to figure out how to do that. Oh, so we're coming in like literally right after what just happened. Oh, and like Yoshiki is in this situation, he's gonna kind of have to explain. I feel like he's gonna have to explain what happened to his mom because he called her sounding all weird and she was like, oh no, he's skipping school. I don't know why she didn't have further thoughts about how ominous his phone call sounded, but for some reason that was like where her mind went. And it's just like, I don't even know, like that's probably not going to even be like a big issue in this episode, but I'm just immediately thinking about like the decision that he set out to make, and since that, did not work out, how he kind of put himself in this corner of like, that's it, it's over, I'm sacrificing myself. And it's like, well, that's obviously not what happened. And then in a way, Hikaru, he didn't sacrifice himself, but he gave up some power. And I feel like they're both kind of shoved into a very dangerous corner now. Anyway, I just need to shut up and watch.
なんか殺人の証拠隠滅しとるみたいやな。
Well,
そんな感じよ。
yeah.
母さんが帰ってくるまでに全部落とさんと。そういやお前、傷はどうなっとるん？
さすがに治した。
直し。
痛みはほぼ感じやんから。実生傷はほっとくけどな。
俺の決死の攻撃も無駄やったってことか。
Well, I'm glad he doesn't feel very much pain. Although I'm worried about now.
抜き様。脳抜き様。
松浦のばあさんも言うとったよな、それ。
Now, does he know or like understand the difference between Unuki-sama and Nonuki-sama? Like, I'm wondering if the current Hikaru remembers what the original Hikaru was saying, like right when he died, because that would be curious, and I feel like that would provide some answers. But the way he's reading the note, it almost seems like maybe he like doesn't remember certain things.
それがな、これに関することをほぼ覚えとらんのよな。
That's
記
weird.
憶にもやがかかっとって。なあ、俺がその脳抜き様なんかな。
Or something like that.
さあ、わからん。
I think Unuki-sama and Nonuki-sama are like maybe two different things, or it might be that some of the villagers that say Nonuki-sama, they have like the wrong idea of what this entity is, and so it's sort of like, oh, they don't really know and they're calling it the wrong thing, but the Indo family does know, so they're calling it the right thing. So it's interesting because they could be two different things, or they could be like, it could be like people's misconceptions, and so it has these different names. I don't know what it's going to be, but that's interesting that Hikaru like doesn't remember a lot of this stuff. And at this point, I'm going to sort of trust him on that. The same way that Yoshiki was like, well, I kind of trust you. Because, like, I do think at this point, after what they've just been through, I don't know why he would lie about not remembering that stuff. I feel like it would be in his best interest to, like, be upfront about it. But there might be something that we, the audience, like, don't know that could be motivation for him not revealing the truth about it. So, I don't know.
おー、それらしいもんはないな。
手がかり途絶えてしもたな。
よっこらセット。
じいちゃん。
Oh, his grandpa's around.
さ、このメモなんやけど。
Oh, he's just gonna ask him.
そうや、ヒカル。七さんはどこやった？
ね。
七さんを山に返さんと。
Who's
どうにもおらん
Ichi-san?
のや。
Is that the little head?
あの人はな、かわいそうな人や。昔、あんなことをおぬきさんにお願いしやんかったら、この村は人殺しの村や。業が深い。ずっと昔から。
Are you gonna elaborate?
焦点仕掛けとる。
That's interesting. I wonder if Hichi-san is the head.
体調はもう平気なん？
俺は平気。朝子は大丈夫やった？あの後。
いやそれがさ、あれから右耳だけ聞こえづらくなってなって。
I'm concerned about
病
that
院でも
too.
原因わからんかった。
Yeah.
なんでやろうね。
そっか。ごめん。
なんでヨシキが謝るん？誰も悪ないで。
Well, you might want to ask Hikaru about
あ
that.
のさ、あん時のヒカル、やっぱおかしかったよな。なんかヒカルやないみたいでさ、私が言うてた悪霊ってヒカルのこと乗っ取ってまったんかな。
もしそうやったら、あいつのこと嫌いになる。
Ooh.
わからん。
あんまり嫌わんといてやってや。
こっちで言うとる？
いや。冗談。
ごめん、遅なった。
朝子、右耳聞こえづらくなってまったらしい。
それは多分俺がちょっと触ったから。人って
Oh,
さ、
man.
俺がちょっといじれば壊れんねん。でも朝子精神強いから壊れんかった代わりに耳に影響出たんやないかなっ
お前がやったことやけどな。
Yep.
耳くらいでよかったとは思っとるよ。
Oh.
悪女やな。村の子、何か光の正体の手がかりに。
I would certainly say so.
不穏な地名のスレッド。首
Oh,
たちって
his broken phone. Because it's like when he went to stab him and the phone fell and it cracked the bottom. Oh. It is weird how Kubitachi uses the character's neck and stand. I will say, like, it really... That overhead, like, satellite map really looks like a person.
変な地名よな。確か図書館に地図。
Hello?
はーい。
Oh.
はーい。
Oh, no, don't look at that. Remember, you're not supposed to look at them.
来た。また化け物や。
That's not creepy at all.
みや、みや。
But it's kind of funny at the same time. Like, just the fact that it's waving at him, like, hi! And, like, what? Are they all seeing it?
あれ人やで。
Oh. Oh, that's. What?
あの不審者の人入られてまったんや。
What?
入られる？
怖いのが
Okay, I thought something had happened that, like, all of a sudden everybody was able to see these spirits. But that was just a person. A person who is affected by, you know, whatever the heck is going on. Or maybe now, like, more people are getting possessed. But the people who are possessed, regular humans can see them.
中に憑依。この前の牧野も多分そう。野球部の先輩が急におかしなって暴れ
Whoa.
て怪我した。
Oh no.
光は大丈夫な？
俺？
めちゃくちゃ中に入られて待ってるけど。
ああ、なんともないわ。悪霊耐性あるんかな。
そうなあ、みんなに何かあったらどうしよう。最近こういうの増えたなって思ったら、とうとう学校まで
Oh
来とるもん。
man.
私じゃ何もできやんのに。
朝子。
汚れが増えとること、あそこも気づいとったんや
どうしたらええんやろ。
な。なんとかするしかないやろ。いざとなったら俺が。
どうしたん？
いや、なんか腕が。
Oh, see? He's gonna get hurt more easily. It's not just gonna randomly heal.
痛み。
Oh.
小山周辺の地図。
You know what's really interesting about that is like it's like a very literal representation of like him becoming more human. You know, as he learns to become more human, and it's like, oh, now he can get hurt and like it'll hurt and a bruise will last, but also a very bad sign.
昔のな、明治前期の頃の首立ちも含めたここら一帯が乗っとる。ここが天板山、ここが川やろ。やからここがちゃう、右から読む。だるま捨て。
なんやその名前。
希望が山の昔の名前や。首立
Wonder
ち
what
の
that
字も今と
means.
違う。
Ah.
だるま捨て、腕刈り、廃村になった腕入りとその下が足取り。
あと右下に伸びとるこの見覚えないとこと。
首立ち。これ人の形か。
Yeah.
ちゃんと
Totally
体の部
is.
位と地名がリンクしとる。
Oh.
待って胴体のことか。
なほな気持ち悪い。
首立ち村。近世初期に首立ち、腕刈り、腕入り、足取り、だるま捨ての5つに分損した。腕入りは明治中期にだるま捨てと合併、寛永2年の飢饉と疫病により多くの死者が出た。
へえ、なんが。
元は同じ一つの村やったんや。希望が山も首立ちも。
ちょっと声大きいかも。
すいません。
いえ、学校の課題か何かですか？
あ、僕たち首立ちから山子を通ってて地元のことを調べてみたいな。
あらまあ、私も首立ち出身なんですよ。
そうなんや。
つい最近母が亡くなるまでずっと帰ってませんでしたけどね。
Oh my
もしかし
god.
て松浦さんの娘。
Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, that's not awkward at all.
はい、私の母です。
Oh.
結局会わないまま死んでしまったんですけど。
ご冥福をお祈りします。
松浦さん、
はい、
脳抜き様って知ってますか？
そうですか。
Ooh.
母は未だにそんなこと。脳抜き様の話は母がようしてました。母は幼い頃、あの山に忍び込んで何か恐ろしい目にあったらし
Oh.
く、 野抜様がおるあの山には絶対に入るなと。
やっぱり能抜き様って山にいる化け物なんか。
いや、神様のようなものやと。特定の捧げ物と引き換えに。
I need to know what the difference between Unuki-sama and Nonuki-sama is. Like, I should probably look up what those two words mean, because there's probably an indicator there. If they are the same thing, it could be that the Indo family sees it one way, and then, like, other people see it another way. Maybe Nonuki-sama is, like, a more threatening name. I don't know. But I do wonder if they're actually different things. Or even, could it be that Nonoki-sama is not one single god, or a god at all, but like some other kind of force? It could even be split up into like multiple parts. Because like the villagers might have an understanding of it, but they might be wrong about what it actually is. They're just, like, this reminds me of when I was watching the show at the very beginning, and I was trying to think of, like, what if Hikaru is part of this, like, hive mind or entity with, like, multiple parts? And I think part of that was just me coping with the fact that he killed Matsura-san, and I was like, is that really him, though? It totally was him. But, like, I'm still wondering about that, like, is there a single entity, or is there kind of, like, this group of things that all make up whatever Nonoki-sama is?
益をもたらしてくれる存在やったらしいです。
特定の捧げ物。
やったってことは今はそうやないってことですよ。
そうね。野抜様はあの村が分損するずっと前から崇められていて、やけどある時の飢饉でたくさん人が死んで、それを境にたたり神になってしまったんやと。やから絶対に山に入ってはならんよと。
松浦さんのお母さんは山で能抜様見たんかな。やからおかしくなってしまったん。
そういうこと言うなよ。
いや、ええですよ。母がああなったんはね、妹があの山で消えてしまったんが大きいと思います。私が小学生の頃、妹はあの山で行方不明になって。
それは能抜様のせいでってこと？
母はそう信じとったけど、まさかね。当時は村中大騒ぎでね、子供らは能抜様なんてよう分かってませんでしたから。あ、でもはじめちゃんたちは何か知っとったような。
武田のおっちゃん？
そうそう、私らも幼なじみなんよ。あ、そうや、はじめちゃんのお父さん、武田のおじいちゃんに聞いてみるの。
See, they should be really careful with who they're asking. The, not exactly spoilers, but the indicators I saw of what people thought about this episode, it makes me think that they asked the wrong person, and now they're implicated.
どうやろ、母と同世代やから。
武田のじいさん。
ありがとうございました。すいません、なんかお母さん亡くされたばっかりやのに。
ええですよ。私は母にとって薄情な娘でしたから。それでも大事な人やったなーって今さら思ったりしてね。
朝が嫌や。毎朝お父やんがおらんことに気づかん。
Oh no.
笑っちゃいますよね。
God, the way that, like, Hikaru is directly guilty for this, but also him recognizing the feeling of, like, someone experienced loss, like losing a parent, like him seeing that in how Hikaru was when he was a kid, and it's just like, oh, it's just that's such an interesting position for him to be in, because it's like, I know that Hikaru experienced this loss, and I also know that, like, he, or in this case, the thing that's in his body, caused it for someone else. But I feel like you can apply that feeling to just regular real life things. Like, so many people have like, you've experienced a loss, or you've experienced the end of a relationship, and, you've experienced someone, like, hurting you emotionally. But, like, can we escape from hurting other people emotionally? So it's like we've both experienced this hurt and also caused it for other people. I don't know. I'm kind of rambling because I'm scared of like what's going to happen, but also that's like genuinely an interesting thing for me. And I'm interested to see how Yoshiki is going to like cope with what Hikaru has done now that he's trying to accept things and trying to understand. And I also wonder like how Hikaru is going to cope, because I think he's going to become like more and more guilty as he gets closer to humanity. Also, we're in this like beautiful red-orange light again.
俺たたり神やったんかな。ねえ、いやいや、たくさん死んだって俺がやったん？
Now that I don't know about
お前さ、
that.
松浦さんに何したか分かっとる？
Yeah.
いや、分かっとらんな。
Ooh. Maybe he does a little bit.
俺はアホや。松浦のばあさんにも家族がおんのに、どっかで軽く見てたんや。知って重いわ。
ごめん。
何に対して謝っとんの？謝ったって仕方ないやろ。わからんもんはわからんの。
Right, and like, do you know what you're sorry for?
俺
大丈夫。これから先、お前がまた誰か殺してまったとしても、俺も一緒に罪を
Oh
背負う。
wow. Oh
光のこと
wow.
を分かれば分かるほど、ここにおったらあかんってことも浮き彫りになるかもしれん。でも、もう目をそらすんはやめたから。
Oh, I'm done looking the other way.
今日午前、県立希望ヶ山高等学校に刃物を持った男が。
God, I almost forgot about that somehow, because like, which is completely insane. Like, think about just being a student at that school and witnessing that, especially the people who have no idea what kind of freaky stuff is going on. That's traumatizing.
男は
どうも。何しに来よった。この
はじめどこにおるんや。早くこっち来んかい。
今は都合が悪い。
これお父さんに渡しといてください。
Ooh.
お前な、いつも人の話も聞かんと勝手な。もっと説明なりな。
いや何、お守りみたいなもんです。
Oh.
大
God, I'm
切なプリン
scared.
トほど俺のカバンに紛れとんのは光と変わらんな。
Oh. This is how they meet.
せいでか。
Oh? Oh, he's gonna... Oh, because they're mixing. So some of the, like, stuff is mixed into Yoshiki. So he's gonna notice something. Oh, no. Yep.
なあ君、ここの子ですか？
あ、はい。
ああそう。さ、ちょっと聞きたいことがあるんですけど、いいです？
なんですか？
ここの村のさ、名産品って何？
名産品？
うん。
しいたけとかじゃないですかね。
ああ、そうなの。なんか僕ちょっとしいたけ苦手なんですよね。唾液で出汁出てる感じしません？僕民族学者でさ。
Doesn't the flavor kind of linger in your mouth? Is he like... It's almost like he's referring to the mixing?
ここの集落のこと調べに来てるんですよ。普段はミカサさんとこに下宿させてもらってて。君はなんて言うの？
辻中ですけど。
おお、そうっすか、辻中くん。ありがとう。好き嫌いせずに食ってみます。
What are they like having a stare down? No, see, I saw this screenshot from like the little previews that they put up of the episode, and I was like, I know this is in someone's imagination, but literally, like, what is the context for this? This is so funny.
うんこされてる。
Oh no.
全然平気っす。
このネズミね。
Oh my god, he actually held it.
飼い始めて12年
No. 12 years? They don't live for 12
そうで
years.
すよね。ハムスターの寿命って
Right.
じゃ。
こいつは特別。バケハムですから。
いや、でも
He's just telling him
ありが
that.
とうございました。
Oh, we know what that is.
さあ、僕と似てるよ。
Uh-huh.
またな。
They both have the same type of scar. Yep.
さっきの彼、なんか
Yep.
持ってるし、混ざってます
Oh,
よ
little
ね。
hamster baby.
何かあれに強く関連するものを持っている。 確実にあれと接触している。それにあの腕の跡。あれには感情どころか自我もない。もっと概念的なもんだろう。普通に
Has no
人の
sense of
姿をして
identity.
生活するなんてありえるのか。
Yep.
猟犬がすぐに見つけるか。
Oh man. Oh man. Oh, this is gonna be so bad.
はい。
報告は逐一お願いいたします。
事案 AA104 番調査中っす。異常性はまだ見当たらないっすね。
わかりました。引き続き調査をお願いいたします。中間報告
I
を
like this
怠
music.
らないように。
うるせえな。
Ooh, I love the shadow. Ah! He loves it too. Oh. Oh.
8番注文お願いします。
武田のじいさんに
Oh,
話聞き
they're
哦
at
に
the cafe now. They're at the America Diner.
行くんやろ。勉強しとる場合かや。
どうやって話すかも同時に考えとる。
あのさ、俺のかけらちゃんと持っとる？
持っとる。肌身離さずな。
You should keep that in a very safe
それ
place.
壊れたら多分俺も無事やない。
Oh.
は？そんな大事な。
Oh my god.
それは俺の覚悟やから。
Oh my god. Oh, don't say that. Don't jinx yourself, please. Good lord. Oh, like I said, I knew this would be a bad idea. It was like such a beautiful gesture in a symbolic kind of way, but also a terrible idea.
多分壊れやんけどな。
You gotta keep that locked in a vault.
こんなに静かやったっ
Oh god. What's happening now? Everyone was just here. Oh! Oh
そ
no.
の音。
Oh god. What? What?
よしき。動かんね。
Oh god.
来い、来い、来い、
Is he not gonna be as strong against it?
来い。
That's what I'm really worried about. Aww.
あかん。
Oh god.
ダメや。
Oh no. Oh no. Like I said, consequences. Oh my god. Like, can he give it back? Can he give the thing back? Oh, I hate that. I'm gonna pause at this moment just to say, like, the thing with the little head, that, you know, the thing that was apparently somebody's head, and then the weird swivelly head monster from before, and then all these things where their heads are being pulled off. I really feel like there is some sort of history in the village of people, like, getting sacrificed by having their heads cut off. And this is sort of like, you know, the restless spirits from that. I feel like that is a big element to this mystery. Anyway, I guess I have to find out what happens now. How are they gonna deal with this? What? Oh my god, it's her! Oh my god! Oh, because she could do she can deal with them. So they need her on their side. Oh, but is she going to be able to help them, or is she not going to be on their side? Oh my god, are you serious? Wait, no. Is there not an after credits scene? Whoa. There's been like an after credit scene or something for like so long, and now there's nothing? We just have to end here? Holy crap. Okay, wait, I'm going to go back and just... See, this is interesting because she does have the ability to do these sort of exorcisms. And, like, we're in a situation now where Hikaru is, like, he doesn't have as much power. Which, again, he should have thought about that. But I totally understand why he did what he did to make himself unable to hurt other people. But the problem is now he can't hurt these ghost things. And I was hoping that maybe he would still be able to and he just wouldn't be as strong, but it's like he just straight up couldn't do it. Oh god. Yeah, this is really bad. I'm so glad that she was there to save them. But see, like, because she's the one who told him, don't hang out with that friend of yours, like, you're mixing, you have to stay away from it. Is she going to listen if Yoshiki comes to her and is like, you have to help us? Or is she going to try to, like... See, I don't think she'll have the power to exorcise Hikaru. If he is Nonuki-sama or Inuki-sama, Uniki-sama, whatever it is, she's probably not going to be strong enough to do that. But she still could potentially be a threat to him. And, like, meanwhile, he has to explain, like, well, he's been protecting me from these things. Sorry, I didn't really take your advice. You know, there are these people like her and Tanaka where they're in a situation now where they really need these people on their side. But those are exactly the people who are not going to be inclined to try and help Hikaru. And they might think that they're trying to help Yoshiki by trying to hurt Hikaru, and yet they're doing the opposite. Oh, this is so bad. This is so bad. Okay, well, I guess I finished the episode. I'm in denial that there is no after credit scene. We just stop here. Okay. Well, that was episode 8 of the Summer Hikaru Died. I'm really glad that, like, even though that was kind of a cliffhanger, we didn't get the cliffhanger of Hikaru being hurt and them trying to escape and being stuck in the diner with that thing chasing them. It didn't end on that kind of cliffhanger. So far, the show has not really done cliffhangers in that way. Now, that's not to say that they won't. What concerns me is that they're going to, like, hold out on us until, like, the end of the season, and suddenly there will be cliffhangers at, like, the end of the season, and I will not be able to handle that. But I'm appreciating that they haven't really done that so far, so we still get some kind of resolution at the end of each episode, even if it's only kind of like partial. So she, you know, saves them at the last minute. Here's the thing. I know that the manga is ongoing, and I know that, like, Hikaru hasn't died in the manga or something. I mean, he's still existing in it, so as far as I know, he hasn't. So there's a certain level of worry that I don't have, where it's like, season 1 of the anime isn't going to kill off Hikaru or Yoshiki. The story is not over yet. There's still that worry at the back of my head that the story is ultimately not going to have a happy ending. But we just don't know yet because it's not over yet. But, like, there is that little bit of hope that, like, okay, well, at least season 1 isn't going to end in that kind of tragedy. Because, like, how could it? And if it does, then there's going to be some magical thing that resolves it in a way that, you know, I just can't know at this point. You know what I mean? So, like, you know, I'm concerned. I'm not as concerned as I could be if I was going in, like, with absolutely no knowledge of anything. All I know is that people were talking about a new chapter of the manga that came out, and I don't know what happens in it. But the point is, it's still ongoing. it's not like everybody is dead. I don't have to worry about that, I guess. But still, it's like, uh-oh, my favorite fictional characters are in danger. Like I said, it really was a situation where Hikaru immediately saw the consequences of his actions. And the fact that the scary fact that Yoshiki has this part of him that, like, there's a possibility that if it was destroyed, he could die. I really don't like that. I would like to think that it could be merged back with him, but I kind of am wondering if that's possible, because I feel like Hikaru would be like, hey, suddenly I don't have the power to deal with these things. Maybe I need this back, or maybe I need it in me sometimes, and other times you're going to hold on to it so I don't just, like, go and kill people. I don't exactly know what the solution to that is, but I'm worried that it's not that simple. I'm worried that once it's been removed, it might not be possible to put back. God, yeah. So now, suddenly Hikaru can't really be the protector anymore. They have to rely on these other people and hope that they'll be able to trust them. And that's interesting in the perspective of, if you look at, like, the metaphorical undercurrent of the story, where it's, like, kind of about Yoshiki growing up gay in a small Japanese town, and, like, all the rumors around him, and facing, like, what the other villagers think of him, and kind of being in a situation where, like, because you're queer in a small homophobic town, when you're threatened or you're in danger, possibly directly because of that, and you need help, and you can't save yourself and you need someone to help you, you have to trust that you can find someone who is, like, safe. Like, you have to rely on these other people, but what if they're a threat to you too? And what if someone is in a position where they could help you, but they choose not to because of prejudice? Like, it feels like that, and that's so scary. But for next episode, I'm gonna be really careful not to see even any spoilers in terms of, like, people's thumbnails for the episode. Like I said, I wasn't really spoiled. I did see a thumbnail of, like, Hikaru's injury, so I knew he got hurt somehow at some point, but I didn't know how, I didn't know why. I just kind of guessed and put it together, like, he's, like, nerfed himself, and now one of these things is going to be able to hurt him more. But I was not anticipating him not being able to deal with it at all. I thought he would deal with it, but he would, like, have lasting hurt. But instead, like, he just couldn't do it. Maybe he'll figure out how later. Maybe he'll, like, build up his power again, but at the moment he just can't do it. And I'm also really worried for, like, the long term of this series. Is there going to be a situation where it's like, oh, I'm Nonoki-sama or I'm Unuki-sama, and the only way to stop this from happening is for me to be locked on the mountain again, so you have to lock me away on the mountain, and that would basically amount to sacrificing himself and Yoshiki having to say goodbye to him. I don't want that to, like, be the way that this all ends. I don't want that to be the solution, but I'm worried that it could be. I'm still holding out hope that this series ultimately ends in a happy ending. Now, it's gonna take 2 seasons to get through it. What I've read is that the manga is planned to be 10 volumes. It's not finished yet. I think volume 7 is out in Japan or coming out in Japan, but, like, we've still got a lot to go. The amount of time they would need to finish the 10 volumes of the manga in the anime is roughly 2 seasons. We have 12 episodes this season, so if they get a second season with another 12 episodes, I think they could finish it in that time. I'm seriously hoping that they get a second season. And so again, this is pretty far out, but I'm just saying, every, like, thing that happens with every consequence, it just makes me think about how things could end. And my worry is, like, what I said, Hikaru has to sacrifice himself because it's the only way to save all these people, because he was protecting people by holding stuff back on the mountain. But another part of me is like, no, there has to be another solution. And I feel like there's a potential for the story to have a happy ending, in my opinion. None of us know how it's going to get there, but I do have hope that it's possible. It seems so unlikely and it seems so impossible, but a part of me is like, no, I have to hold on to that hope. Anyway, another great episode. I'm really glad to see them. Like, this episode did a lot. We got, like, immediate consequences to what Hikaru just did. We've got sort of, like, Hikaru coming closer and closer to humanity, being faced with, like, a person mourning a death that he caused, and the way he feels about that, and he's still sort of figuring it out, and I think he like doesn't really understand, but I think he's getting closer to understanding than he was before. And we are getting like Yoshiki's reaction to that, and this interesting place that Yoshiki has put himself, where he's like, I'm sort of enabling you, so I carry the guilt too. So if you do something, I'm not gonna like leave this time, and I'm not gonna try to hurt you because I can't. Although now he could, but I don't think he would do that. I really don't think he would do that at this point. But like, I think he's like, I'm shouldering the blame with you. I'm standing by you. And it's like a beautiful expression of like love and trust, but it's also again terrifying. So we got that, and then we got like, oh, more mysterious things are happening. The guy stabbing himself outside the school, which Yoshiki and I both thought it was an entity, but it was like a person who was possessed, but like not a spirit itself. Maki getting hurt because some guy randomly attacked him. Like this stuff, the thing in the diner, like this stuff is spreading rapid fire. It's getting really serious. And last, in episode 7, Yoshiki's sort of like premonition showing all the people dying and like him thinking about like the consequences, like what's gonna happen. Like it almost seems like that's coming true. Things just ramped up. And we got them starting to research, starting to actually ask questions, try to figure out what Hikaru is and find out more stuff about him. And Yoshiki meeting Tanaka and Tanaka being clued in, at least about Yoshiki. And if Tanaka is clued in about Yoshiki, he can very quickly and easily figure out, oh, this thing is in Hikaru. It's Hikaru. Like, I don't think it's going to be very long at all before he gets that indication. I also wanted to mention there's like a theory that some people have, and this is not a spoiler. As far as I know, this hasn't been confirmed in the manga or anywhere. This is just a theory I've come across that people have. It might be just a theory that anime viewers have, and I apologize if this actually is like confirmed in the manga, but I don't know. So as far as I know, I'm just telling you a theory that I've heard, which is that Tanaka is the son of that woman, Rie Kurobayashi, that he's her son, that, when her dead husband came back and left a scar on her son that would never heal. What if he's the one, and what if that scar on his neck is from the thing being in his dad's body? And that would also be interesting because then both the mother and son are in their own different ways doing this sort of exorcism business. Like that would be really interesting. But also, if he is her son, he's now back in town and could run into her at any moment. It's a very small town, so it's sort of like, it would be surprising if they didn't run into each other. So I do wonder, is he her son, and are we going to get anything about that? Are they going to run into each other? Now, I'm not 100% sure if I believe that theory. It's very, very convincing. But just the sheer fact that they're in a very small town together, and apparently this theory is like unconfirmed, and the fact that like it wouldn't take that long before they would run into each other, part of me is like, maybe there's, a lot of people running around with these wounds from these entities, and just because he has one doesn't mean that he's her son. But it is like an interesting thought. And I'm seriously thinking that like the village has this sordid history of sacrifices, and also the thing that they've been hinting at in other episodes, that part of the reason that there's like a threat from the mountain is because, oh, this corporation was trying to alter the land, and if you mess with the land too much, it releases some of these entities, and it like backfires on the people in the village. So there's like a nature god protector element of it, like nature's wrath against humans trying to mess with it, that I'm pretty sure is part of the story. But like the headless things, the nature element, every episode we get more of these little hints fed to us, and it's going to be so satisfying to see them all come together and form a whole, and for it to be like, this is what's happening. I cannot wait for that. Like, I can't wait to find out more of what the heck is going on. Like I said, I'm really glad this didn't end on quite as bad a cliffhanger as it could have. I'm very thankful for that, because I didn't want to be like stressed out about this waiting for the next episode, and I feel like things are very bad, but at least there's other people who have the power to help. The question is just now, like I said, like, it's in their hands. And Yoshiki and Hikaru are in this position of like, I have to ask you for help and you might not want to help me. So that I am very concerned about. But on the story level, with like the metaphorical undercurrent of this whole story, that's very interesting to me, because that feels very real. Like, I'm putting my trust in these people, but they might see me a certain way and they might not want to help me. This anime has been so masterful. And the manga, of course, being source material. What I've been doing, I think I said this last time, I watch an episode and then I read in the manga up to the point that I see anything new I don't know. As soon as I see like, oh, I haven't come across this yet, I like immediately stop. So they're not exactly the same, but they're very, very similar. The manga just has these little bonus chapters that they haven't incorporated into the anime that I wish they would. I wonder if they'll incorporate some of it later. I kind of hope. But other than the bonus chapters, the anime isn't really missing anything from the manga. It's been very, very similar, and I've been really enjoying that. I like to sometimes see an adaptation and then read the source material afterwards, and it's been really interesting, like, watching and reading them together. I am like rambling so much because I was so nervous prior to this episode, and this was yet another great episode. I am enjoying this anime so much, and I assume that you are too if you're watching this reaction to episode 8. So thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with me through all the rambling. And until next time, this is eSoup, signing out.